yours.
Let's take a look at our leading stories tonight. President Emmerson Mnangagwa pays tribute to the late Vice President Dr. John Nkomo.
He described him as an eloquent and forthright politician.
Tropical cyclone Cde affects over 40,000 people in Madagascar and Mozambique.
In business, economists expect the introduction of fast food tax to widen revenue flow.
In our leading sports story tonight, Walter Magaya judgment on ZIFA elections appeal reserved to Thursday next week.
Now for the news in detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has described the late former Vice President, Dr. John Nkomo, as an ardent revolutionary, diligent nation builder and dedicated champion of peace. Let's get more from the following report.
In a statement to mark the 12th anniversary since the death of the former Vice President, President Mnangagwa said Comrade Nkomo was a passionate educator, an eloquent and forthright politician who pioneered lasting developmental projects in his rural Cholocho district and beyond. Dr. Nkomo, who died on the 17th of January in 2013, served in several ministerial portfolios from 1981 to 2002 before being elected Speaker of Parliament in 2005. He also served as Minister of State in the President's Office, responsible for national healing, reconciliation and integration, as well as national chairperson of the ruling ZANU PF party in 2009. In the same year, he was appointed Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, a position he held until his death in 2013. President Mnangagwa noted that Dr. Nkomo exuded unparalleled patriotism and dedication to the values of unity and peace, as expressed in his popular mantra, "Peace begins with me, peace begins with you, peace begins with all of us." The head of state said as the nation remembers Dr. Nkomo, Zimbabweans must cherish the peace and tranquility that has become the cornerstone of the national developmental trajectory.
The late senior army officer, Major General retired Solomon Sizba, has been declared a national hero. Let's get more details from the following report.
The message on the conferment of a national hero status on the late Major General retired Sizba was delivered to the family by the Bulawayo Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Cde Chimwenje, in Bulawayo this Friday evening.
His Excellency, the President and First Secretary of ZANU PF, Comrade Dr. Cde Mnangagwa, has conferred a national hero status to the late Comrade Brigadier General retired Solomon Sizba, who died on the 15th of January 2025. Mourners are gathered at 527 Bulawayo Drive, Kilani, Bulawayo. The late Comrade Brigadier General retired Solomon Sizba will be interred at the National Heroes Acre, Harare, at a date to be announced. I shall be most grateful if you would make the usual arrangements for his burial and payment of benefits to his family. He is from Bulawayo Province.
Speaking on behalf of the family, Major General Sizba's brother Leonard thanked President Emmerson Mnangagwa and government for honoring his brother through the national hero status.
Umfowethu uphiwe i-heroes status. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Born on 25 April 1958, the Major General retired Sizba joined the armed struggle in 1977. He died this Wednesday at Josiah Magama Tongokara Barracks Hospital after a long battle with cancer. His body will be taken to Bulawayo this Saturday, where it will lie in state before being taken to his farm in Mkwashi and to his rural home in Nwali on Sunday. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Former Cabinet Minister and ZANU PF National Consultative Assembly member, Comrade Cde Chimwenje, who died this Thursday, has been declared a national hero. We will give you that report as the bulletin progresses. In another report, Zimbabwe has expressed confidence that the new president of Mozambique, His Excellency Daniel Chapo, will implement robust measures to address political and economic challenges facing the neighboring countries.
The swearing-in of Mozambican President His Excellency Daniel Chapo earlier this week meant a new chapter for the people of the Southern African nation and the region at large. SADC chairperson and Zimbabwean President Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa was represented at the inauguration ceremony by Defense Minister Comrade Opamchinguri Kashiri, who spoke to ZBC News in Harare this Friday about how Mozambicans can now progress in this new chapter.
He looked at the abundance of resources in Mozambique. One such is gas, also diamonds. He would want to leverage on that and establish a bank which he will use to capacitate and also to empower the youth, firstly in terms of creating SMEs so that they create their jobs. So there will be a bank that will be financing most of their projects.
Meanwhile, Comrade Mchinguri Kashiri has joined the nation in mourning the death of Major General retired Solomon Siziba and former Cabinet Minister Comrade Chenamo Chimwenje, who have since been declared national heroes.
We console their family on this sad loss, not just to the family but to the nation of Zimbabwe because of their contributions during the struggle.
The two national heroes played a key role in the liberation and development of Zimbabwe, hence the government's decision to confer them with the country's highest honor. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
The government of Zimbabwe has partnered India in a students' training program that will see Zimbabweans from diverse backgrounds undergoing technical skills training in the Asian country under the Presidential Scholarship Program.
A send-off ceremony was held in Harare this Friday for 71 individuals who will undergo a training of trainers program in various fields at Centurion University in India. The individuals selected from various institutions are beneficiaries of the Presidential Scholarship Program.
I'm excited to be actually traveling to India because it's an opportunity to actually learn as a young person in Zimbabwe. It's a very good opportunity to learn in the industry and how things are done in India, to actually come back to improve our own industry.
At the end of the day, when you've been exposed to the industry and there are other countries that are technologically more advanced than you are, and you want to be able to tap into what it is that they have and bring it back and ultimately contribute to the national goals, which is the Vision 2030.
The beneficiaries will undergo training in fields that include manufacturing, automotive and electrical engineering.
Education model, heritage-based education 5.0 inotaura nezvekuproducer goods and services. Saka kana vanhu vaenda vakanodzidza ma-practical skills, that's the production of goods, that's the production of services. Saka zvinowirirana zvikuru zvine hoche-koche.
I'm glad to note that 71 officials from various departments will undergo the 6-month training in India in apparel, manufacturing, electrical vehicles and transformer making courses.
The training program aligns with the country's Vision 2030 and Education 5.0 model.
The aim is to capacitate our public institutions with skills, innovative skills that will enable them to produce products within their industries to meet the country's requirements, as well as participate in the export market. I'm told that after the training program, production spaces shall be set up so that you can know better how to manufacture electric transformers by ZESA and electric motor vehicles by CMED and apparel and garment making by the Ministry of Youth Empowerment.
More than 1,000 students from Zimbabwe are undergoing training in various educational programs in India. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The wait is finally over as the 2024 ZIMSEC ordinary level results are out with an increase of more than 3% in the national pass rate.
Announcing the results this Friday, ZIMSEC board chairperson Professor Puma Fumo said heads of examination centers can collect results from Monday, with results also available for 5 days on the ZIMSEC portal.
In the November 2024 ordinary level examinations, a total of 199,250 candidates wrote 5 or more subjects, and 66,130 passed 5 or more subjects with a grade C or better. The national pass rate for 2024 November examinations is therefore 33.19%. In comparison, 185,021 candidates wrote 5 or more subjects in 2023, with 54,420 passing 5 or more subjects with a grade C or better, yielding a percentage pass rate of 29.41. This translates to a percentage increase of 3.78 in the national pass rate in November 2024.
Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, Mr. Lamek Mujgiwa, highlighted that no students should be blocked from getting their results because of non-payment of fees.
The Ministry's position and policy is that no one should be denied the result. And if you recall, a week ago, we also issued a press statement to that effect, where we raised a number of issues to say this is the direction that should be followed. But the long and short of it, if I follow your question, is that no one should be denied. And if there are any cases where people are denied, maybe you also need maybe to inform us.
The O-level results show that there was a 3.53% increase in the pass rate for female candidates from 30.01% in 2023 to 33.54% in 2024. The pass rate for male students was 32.65%, up from 29.06% in 2023. Festus Mkongoro says ZBC News, Harare.
Well, whatever the outcome, do not despair, as the Second Republic is working flat out to make sure that everyone's story is a victorious one, as evidenced in our next report, where government has resuscitated the funding company for business startups to help emerging entrepreneurs venture into mainstream economic sectors. More from our business editor, Stanley James.
The revival of the National Venture Capital Company of Zimbabwe on Thursday night reflected the government's commitment to help viable but capital-distressed emerging firms or projects. Investments in innovation, entrepreneurship growth, including access to markets, are the main functions of the entity.
The National Venture Capital Company of Zimbabwe is coming through to fill in an important gap that we have in this country. Currently, we have tertiary institutions which are coming up with great ideas, great startups, but there's no vehicle to turn that into commercial products. This is where we come in mentoring and assisting them to turn their products and ideas into actual businesses.
The company is also expected to boost economic development.
It sends a message that the country has a lot of entrepreneurs, there's a lot of potential ideas, there's new businesses that need to be supported.
Government has reviewed a commitment to growth of the venture capital utility.
We began in earnest to fund 3 projects. One is in telemedicine, supporting rural health workers, supporting rural women and those who may be sick in that part of the country, so that they can receive medicine and medical support from doctors remotely through their mobile phones. The other project has to do with a student who's based at one of the universities, who has created a powder tomato puree. Once you add a bit of water, the powder turns into puree.
A global business journal defines venture capital as money invested in a business, usually a startup that is seen having strong growth potential. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
From venture capital, still talking about funds, measures implemented by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe have cooled off exchange rate volatility, providing stability to the ZiG currency over the past 5 months.
Almost 4 months after its introduction in April 2024,
The ZiG was fast losing value as the yawning gap between the official rate of 13.56 to the greenback and the parallel market rate, which was trading between 40 and 50 to the US dollar, prompted monetary authorities to devalue the ZiG to 23.56 to the greenback. This was followed by upward review of the statutory reserve requirements among a host of other interventions to quell emerging inflationary pressures and exchange rate volatility. The local currency has remained largely stable in the last quarter of the year 2024, as explained by financial analyst Mr. Batanai Matsika.
What we've seen in the market is a stance by monetary authorities really to push for effective liquidity management geared around macroeconomic stability, mostly looking at the exchange rate and inflation levels. But what we are seeing also in the market is that, because of that stance, in terms of increase in reserve ratios, interest rates, and also even certain open market operations, there's been some form of liquidity crunches in certain sectors of the economy. And the concern, of course, is having that balance, because what we also want to do is to drive economic development and boost productivity, which is basically also driven by capital deepening or just the availability of liquidity in the market.
Economist Dr. Prosper Chitambara echoed the same sentiment, saying the liquidity management framework has contained inflationary pressures as manifested in exchange rate stability.
The tight liquidity situation currently prevailing has obviously contributed to the stability of the ZiG that we have actually been seeing. And because of the stability of the ZiG, we have also seen a significant reduction in the inflation rate for the month of December. So I would say that I think it's critically important to sustain that trajectory in terms of the tight fiscal and monetary policy stances by the authorities.
The monthly local currency marginal gains have provided an environment of stability in the economy, a key variable for business and industry to operate sustainably. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
The First Lady, Dr. Cde Mnangagwa, has initiated numerous projects countrywide to transform lives of the vulnerable, especially women, with beneficiaries reaping huge from the various empowerment initiatives.
Over the years, First Lady Dr. Cde Mnangagwa has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to uplift the lives of the underprivileged through a philanthropic work which is driven by a passion to see women and other vulnerable groups living through dignified means. Recognizing the significance of gender equality and women empowerment, Dr. Mnangagwa has championed various initiatives to close the gender gap and create opportunities for women across the country. Through educational programs and skills development projects, she equips women with necessary tools and knowledge to thrive in all aspects of life. In a quest to see women excelling in agriculture, the First Lady, who is a Agric4She patron, launched 5 women-centric agricultural programs in Manicaland Province's Wande Valley recently in a bid to boost productivity and make women earn income to sustain themselves. The projects, specifically designed for women, are also meant to change the story of the communities whose harvests were affected by the El Nino-induced drought that negatively impacted the previous summer cropping season. The project launched a banana for she, poultry for she, horticulture for she, fisheries for she, and Pfumvudza for she. Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Manicaland Province, Advocate Mishek Mugadza, spoke on how the agricultural programs launched by Amai have impacted the lives of communities. He said beneficiaries are reaping immense benefits with their projects already flourishing, adding that those who received training from extension officers on how to do the projects are cascading the knowledge to other community members.
We are very grateful to the First Lady for being with us throughout the whole of 2024. We have received a lot of assistance as a province, especially our vulnerable groups. At least 5,000 households have benefited from these initiatives. Recently, the First Lady visited us here in Honde Valley and introduced and assisted a lot of vulnerable groups there, something that has been taking place throughout the whole of 2024. Under the Pfumvudza for She program, one of the agriculture for She projects, the First Lady empowered over 1,000 ladies that were at the function, that were given Pfumvudza inputs, and we are happy to say, as of now, of those 1,000, we have established that at least they have each 3 plots, which translates to 3,000 plots that is thriving with a Pfumvudza crop, and this crop is doing very well thanks to the heavens. The rains have come, and we are expecting a bamba harvest down there. The other project that is doing very well in the Honde Valley, for example, is the Banana for She program that she launched again on that day. 1,000 banana suckers were distributed to over 10 families that then went on to plant these banana crops. Bananas do very well in Honde Valley, and this is going to be a pass-on scheme because the suckers can then be transplanted to other families, and we are told this is actually taking place. There was also the fisheries for She that she brought up. The fish ponds had been prepared already, and we are told this project again is doing very well. It's 90% a success.
The women are also said to be practicing the pass-on initiative to ensure that no one is left behind. Advocate Mugadza also commended Dr. Mnangagwa for the Widows Empowerment Initiative, which has turned the fortunes of widows from the province.
We also have the Widows Empowerment Project, which was launched in Boera by the First Lady. This program is doing wonders. A shop was opened in Boera at a township called Mudanda. This shop has been doing quite well. It has experienced the growth of at least 20%. We have the Poultry for She also that was launched by the First Lady. 1,000 plus women were given chicks that they have taken to their villages and are rearing those. And again, our follow-up has impressed us.
The Mother of the Nation is working flat out to ensure that women across the country are empowered by initiating numerous life-changing programs in all the provinces. Dr. Mnangagwa, a renowned philanthropist and empowerment advocate, is on record rallying women to be financially independent for them to contribute meaningfully to the family upkeep as well as the socio-economic development of the country. She has exhibited unwavering commitment to uplift communities and empower the vulnerable in all parts of the country through her philanthropic work. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Harare.
Amazing initiative by our First Lady right there. ZANU PF Mashonaland Central Province has welcomed resolutions made at the party's annual People's Conference held last year, including the agreement for President Mnangagwa to lead the country beyond 2028.
ZANU PF Mashonaland Central Province convened its first Provincial Coordinating Committee meeting of the year this Friday, with conference resolutions and land title deeds dominating proceedings.
Province yanga yakaronga pamusangano uno kuti vazopa feedback ku members of the PCC pamusoro pe National Annual People's Conference yakaitwa kuBulawayo mugore rapera. Saka vanga vachipa feedback yokuti zvakafamba sei vachiongororawo mafambisirwo akaitwa basa.
ZANU PF Provincial Chairperson Comrade Kazembe gave feedback to ruling party supporters at the meeting.
Resolution number 1 yakaida kunziwa nevanhu kuti yakafamba sei. Resolution yekuti province yakakumbira kuti vaMnangagwa dai varamba vari pabasa kusvika 2030 maringe nenyaya yekuti vision yavo ndo vakaigadzira uye ndo vari kumhanya nayo vanhu vemacentral vari kufara kuti vari kuona basa ravari kuita, vakatikumbira kuti aiwa endai munotaura kuNational People's Conference kuti isuwe maCentral tandichikumbira kuti varambe vari muoffice vapedzise basa ravari kuita kusvika 2030. So meeting yanhasi, PCC yanhasi yanga iri kuvataura kuti takasvitsa shoko renyu ramakatituma naro, uyezve hamusi moga, mamwe maprovince ari 9 akasvitsawo futi message imwe cheteyo kuconference, and message iyoyo yakasvitswa nemaprovince ese ari 10 mukati memamwe mamessages, asi hombe yanga resolution iyoyo yekuti vaMnangagwa vakumbirwe varambe vari pabasa ravari kutungamira vari kugona kusvika 2030.
ZANU PF Politburo member Comrade Monica Mavunga weighed in with an appreciation that the provincial resolutions which emanated from the districts were accepted at the conference.
Tinoda kutenda neshoko ramauya naro kuti conference yedu yakatambira resolution yedu. Tinoda kutenda zvekare zvechokwadi vanhu vazhinji vanga vasina kujekerwa neitem number 2 yatatinayo pano yekutaura the new tenure document. Vamwe vazhinji vanga vachidistota zvikuru muma groups mukati imomo.
A call was made for the province to not only focus on political issues but also place strong emphasis on developmental issues this year so as to increase the provincial contribution to the national fiscus. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Pindura.
The commuting public has sent a distress call for law enforcement agents to protect them from pirate taxis, which have become a menace in most urban areas, including the Harare Central Business District. Let's get more from our reporter, Peter Chivima.
Despite widespread appeals for order to be restored on the country's roads, chaos continues to persist, with the pirate taxis, popularly known as Mshikashika, at the center of the disorder. Even recent attempts to engage public transporters have yielded nothing, with a cat-and-mouse game between pirate taxi operators and law enforcement agents now the order of the day. This movie-style high-speed chase occurred at the corner Robson Manyika and Julius Nyerere, putting the lives of pedestrians on the pavement at risk.
Indanchifamba pavement kombi yauya saka pakusvika kuda kutiza kombi ndo pachikoka bhutsu yangu izvezvi kubasa ndoenda nei takusvika pabhata apa matoilet apa pane road inodaisoka neinouya munomtaune road yo kwangu nepolisi yanga ichiuya yanga yakazara motawo vakaitawo kombi yanga ichida kufamba zoti vanhu vanga vatori mupamusika yavo vatotizira mumashops.
The running battles are also prevalent at some known hotspots in Harare Central Business District, including Kona Simon Mzenda and Jason Moyo.
Makombi aya akaramba achidaiso ari kunokwanisa kana kutsika vana kana iwo mapurisa akavasadzingirire mota ngavatsvage imwe nzira yekuti vangabate sei kana kubvisa kana vachida kubvisa mota dzinenge dziri pamushikashika.
Pautoda solution inogarirwa pasi nemunhu wese so that everyone can adhere to that solution.
Zimbabwe Republic Police National Spokesperson Commissioner Ponyat said he is discussing the matter with the responsible authorities.
We are currently investigating the 2 incidences. Definitely we will conduct investigations. Where police officers are correct, we will tell them that they are correct. Where they are wrong, we will tell them that they are wrong. The same applies with Kombi crews and their operators. Where they want to behave as if there are no laws in the country, then they will have themselves to blame.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police has on many occasions issued stern warnings to would-be offenders, and one will only hope for a lasting solution to the traffic jungle in the capital city. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Zain, did you just see what those combi drivers were doing?
It's terrible, it's terrible. I remember I was actually watching the video online. Imagine this. The combi driver jumps out, the conductor jumps out as well. Nobody is driving the vehicle and it goes and it crashes straight into a tree.
That's so unfair on the commuting public, and that's very irresponsible. And I'm glad the law enforcement agents said they are on it. And I can see a lot of comments coming through from our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is ZBC News Online. If you want to join that conversation, some people are saying there, why are people rushing? Why are they in a hurry? And some are saying commuter omnibus operators should just be responsible.
Absolutely. And we also have other people talking about the fact that this is a collective effort where the masses need to come together and come up with a solid plan to end this.
Indeed. And Dixon is saying a government should put more investment on public transportation, and he is also in the support of the ZUPCO buses and NRZ commuter trains. And if you want to join the conversation, like we said, you can also log on to our Facebook page, and you can place your comment there in the comments section. Somebody saying, "My driver aya."
It's shocking because a lot is happening and the public is at risk, and I am certain that the responsible authorities will help us curb this menace.
Yes, and remember, these and more stories are also available on our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Or you can get in touch with us on our social media handles, that is at ZBC News Online.
Still to come on this bulletin. Tropical cyclone Cde affects over 40,000 people in Madagascar and Mozambique.
In the world of sport, a Walter Magaya judgment on ZIFA elections appeal reserved to Thursday next week. The main news takes a breather. We'll be back with you shortly.
On this day, the 17th of January 2025, the Second Republic joins the Nkomo family in commemorating the 12th anniversary of the passing on of the former Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. John Landa Nkomo. An ardent revolutionary, diligent nation builder, and a dedicated champion of peace, Dr. John Landa Nkomo's footprints traversed the nascent trade union and nationalist landscape from 1958 to independence and the immediate post-inclusive government era. Comrade John Landa Nkomo was a passionate educator, an eloquent and forthright politician who pioneered lasting developmental projects in his rural Cholocho district and beyond. He served in several portfolios as Deputy Minister of Industry and Energy, Minister of State in the Prime Minister's Office, Minister of Labor, Manpower Planning and Social Welfare, Minister of Local Government and National Housing, Minister of Home Affairs, Minister of State in the President's Office responsible for Special Affairs, and Speaker of Parliament. He served as Minister of State in the President's Office responsible for National Healing, Reconciliation and Integration, and National Chairman of the ruling ZANU PF party in 2009, the same year that he became the Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe until the time of his demise in 2013. On the international scene, Dr. Nkomo was elected to the presidency of the International Labour Conference in 1993 and chaired the governing body of the International Labour Organization in 1994, positions in which he discharged his roles honorably. The late former Vice President exuded unparalleled patriotism and dedication to the values of unity and peace, as expressed in his popular mantra, "Peace begins with me, peace begins with you, peace begins with all of us." As we remember Comrade John Landa Nkomo, we should forever cherish the peace and tranquility that has become the cornerstone of our developmental trajectory. I, therefore, beseech my fellow citizens and indeed future generations to always shun divisive tendencies in order to safeguard our stable unitary democracy that was painstakingly crafted by the likes of the dear departed Dr. John Nkomo and his revolutionary peers. On its part, the Second Republic is walking the talk by leaving no one and no place behind in delivering on national policies, programs, and projects. May the soul of our illustrious son of the soil and national hero, Comrade John Nkomo, rest in eternal peace. Long live our unity, peace, and freedom. Long live Zimbabwe. God bless our country.
The Zimbabwe Tourism Authority is calling all operators of tourist facilities who have not registered or those with expired licenses and certificates to come forward and register their facilities in compliance with the provisions of Section 36 of the Tourism Act, Chapter 14, 20 of 1996 by 15 February 2025. According to Statutory Instrument Number 106 of 1996, categories of the tourist facilities that must be registered with the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority include but are not limited to conference organizers, restaurants, whether in hotel or otherwise, fast food restaurants, vehicle, bicycle, boat, bus hire, courier shops, tour operators, hunting operators, tour guides, non-hotel conference facilities and venues, travel agents including those online, accommodation including hotels, lodges, guest houses, camps and campsites, bed and breakfast accommodation, Airbnb accommodation, visitor attractions including game parks, farms, art galleries, visitor activities including golf, horse riding, bungee jumping, wedding venues, picnic or braai sports, open air function venues. All facilities that register or renew their licenses and certificates on or before the 15th of February 2025 will have no penalties charged. From the 1st of March 2025, the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, in conjunction with law enforcement agents, will be deployed to bring all unregistered facilities to book. For further information and assistance, please do not hesitate to contact us at the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority offices that are located across the country. Travel and experience Zimbabwe. Zimbo.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. You are still watching the main news, and we now give you the story where former Cabinet Minister and ZANU PF National Consultative Assembly member Cde Chimwenje, who died this Thursday, has been declared a national hero.
The message on the conferment of the national hero status was delivered to the Chimwenje family by ZANU PF National Political Commissar Comrade Mnyarazi Machacha in Harare this Friday evening.
Vanhu vakafamba nemusangano weZANU PF vanoverengerwa pamusoro-soro nokuti vakatanga vachiri muchikomana chidiki, vachiri in the youthful stage upenyu hwavo. He rose through the ranks, becoming MP, then deputy minister, leader, even ministry and broadcasting, information and broadcasting. Kwemakore akati kuti necontribution yavo kuparty pavaive chairman kwemakore weMaCentral, pavaicontributa zvakare committees eparty akasiyana-siyana nema-assignments avaipiwa both within the country nekunze kwenyika, vachitumwa nemusangano, vachitumwa nehurumende. President vedu vaMnangagwa nebato rose reZANU PF nepolitical rose yaona zvakakodzera kuti vapiwe chiremeredzo chokuva national hero.
ZANU PF chairperson for National and Central Province, Comrade Kazembe said the province and the nation has lost a figure who was development-oriented.
This is a man who worked so tirelessly for the party, for Mazoe district, for the province, and for the nation at large. He was at one point the chairman of the province, and he was a central committee member at one point. And at the time of his demise, he was he was a member of the NCA, and he is one member who served as a legislator for a very long time in the province.
The family thanked government for according the national hero status to Comrade Chimwenje.
Semuri tinoda kungotenda zvikuru kuna president wedu wa Mnangagwa. Nedare rawo guru repolitiki ratipa mukana iwoyo kuti semuri vachimutengwende mwana wedu asimudziro akapiwa status ye national hero.
Comrade Chimwenje succumbed to kidney complications this Thursday at the age of 81. Born on 28 August 1943, Comrade Chimwenje first became a member of parliament in 1985 in Mazoe and would be a legislator for 25 years. He also served as a cabinet minister in various portfolios for 14 years. Mourners are gathered at the family home in Chiweshe, Mazoe district. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe has been spared from tropical cyclone Cde, which has left a trail of destruction in Madagascar and Mozambique.
According to the National Risk and Disaster Management Program of Madagascar, 3 people have died while more than 7,000 others have been affected across northern Madagascar. In Mozambique, the National Institute of Disaster Risk Management and Reduction reports 5 fatalities. 4 other people were injured and more than 39,000 affected, while more than 3,000 houses were destroyed. Zimbabwe's Meteorological Services Department says the country has been spared from the tropical storm.
Tropical cyclone Cde did come but did not exactly enter into Zimbabwe. It only affected the northern parts of Madagascar and the northeastern parts of Mozambique, but it returned back to the Mozambican channel, and now it is to the south of Madagascar, and it has greatly weakened due to the lower temperatures of the oceans that it is now in. When it came in the Mozambican channel, especially when it was to the northwest of Madagascar, it drew moisture away from Zimbabwe towards itself, and this resulted in dryness over the northern and eastern parts of Zimbabwe. At the moment, it has passed and it has already gone. We can no longer expect anything from it. And currently, the rains that we're experiencing are a result of the normal systems that cause rains in Zimbabwe, that is the ITCZ and cloud bands that always cause rains in Zimbabwe.
The region has been experiencing increased natural disasters ranging from tropical cyclones and recurrent droughts emanating from the adverse effects of climate change. Olin Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
A grade 6 pupil lost her life after heavy and violent rains that fell in Mutare during the last 2 days left a trail of destruction in the city and surrounding rural areas.
While rains are usually described as showers of blessings, that was not the case in Mutare, as heavy and violent rains that pounded the city in the last 2 days damaged at least 50 houses in areas such as Fairbridge Park, Yoveo and Morambi, while perimeter walls and electricity lines were brought down by falling trees.
Kuno ku Fairbridge kwakaitika mhepo nemvura nezuro yakanaisa zvisikaiti, miti ikazara muroad, maroads ese anga akavhara.
Maroads akawanda akablokwa, especially mu Fairbridge Park munomu ne the main highway inopinda mutown nemamwe maroads anopinda muno mu Fairbridge Park. Matoda kutenda comrade Isa Mupfomi nema government officials warara usiku hwese wachiclear maroads.
Mutare District Development Coordinator Mr. Tendai Kapenzi confirmed a grade 6 girl was swept away trying to cross a flooded river on her way from school on Thursday.
It is said to inform you that we have had loss of life. A grade 6 pupil at 3 Brigade Primary School was swept by Sakuva River. This happened yesterday in the afternoon.
The body of the young girl was later discovered this Friday morning.
Chatika kuno kuchikanga kuti mwana akatorwa nemvura zuru grade 6 tikazomwana nhasi zvatibata sevabereki.
Kanzuro takamboiudza kuti itigadzire bridge
ndo panopinda vanhu vemusika, ndo panopfuura futi nevana vechikoro vanoenda kuchikanga nevanoenda kumurahwa. Vana vedu vese ndo road yavo.
Manicaland province is prone to weather-related disasters, with Chipinge and Chimanimani having been hit by Cyclone Idai in 2019. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
Well, from the Sunshine City, we now connect you to the city of Kings and Queens, where Sibukele is on standby to give us some more updates. Sibukele, it's over to you.
We now focus on stories from our region, starting off in Gwanda South, where villagers have expressed concern over reckless drivers who are risking the lives of people by crossing flooded rivers.
This is the Mlechane River, where the driver of the Green Horse bus tried to cross on the 24th of December with 75 passengers, which resulted in the death of a single passenger and the disappearance of a 3-month-old baby that hasn't been found since December. Not far from this place, a tractor driver tried to cross the swollen Pelele River, which resulted in the tractor veering off the bridge before plunging into the water body. This has left villagers in a state of panic as rivers continue to swell as a result of the recent wet spell.
Abantu vele unento kuthiwa ngumfula ngabona ungena lawe mawuhamba ngento njengemota so la yahlubona ukuthi imoto into le amanzi adlula into adlula iviri ohlubona ukuthi usumoshe umsebenzi wakho.
With Matebeleland South experiencing a sustained wet spell since December, traditional leaders are calling for stiffer penalties for daring drivers.
Njengezakhamuzi kumele sinanzelele ukuthi izifulazi ama-bridge ethu nala sichapha kuwo ayisimobile ngoba kwesikhathi abe segebhekile umshayeli yazi ukuthi hayi indlela yani vele njalo kudlula kanti
Deputy Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Umpile Marupi, called on school authorities to discourage learners from crossing flooded rivers.
Bengachathi imfula egcweleyo. Anjo nxa abantwana bengaye esikolo izulu lingaqala ukuna asizameni uyakuma emfuleni ukuthi sibamise bengachathi. Siyacela khonapho.
Matebeleland South is experiencing a sustained wet spell since December, with major dams filling up. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Gwanda.
We now move on from a story of safety to a story of security and resilience in Hwange, where the recent wet spell experienced across the country has brought hope and food security to communal farmers in Hwange district. Our Matebeleland North Bureau Chief Mhlomuli Ncube filed the following report.
There is optimism among farmers in communal areas of Hwange district after the recent wet spell had completely dried up. The now overflowing dams have become a lifeline to the communal agriculture economy. The farmers are excited as they project a positive outlook.
Ngweno zumanga namafunde zitakabiyara zumumera isu kumulima timulima zimanga zetu zvakabhudha smart vhura ikumuna takanakirwa kuti vhura yana ingombe chewara chikafu kuzumanga isitokubhora yatipeja zumanga izumudiwa zumanga zubhuta pasi so ntiwakona timza kufafaza nokuti azose sitokubhora tikumuriya
ndimuboka mwari kuti kuvhira pa 28 December ivhura ndio yakatanga kunayo kuno ivhura yakana takabyara izumanga namafunde takakoriswa ne government aganchompo amumera sibi
wakati imvura iwe takalita swaba kumensota swaba mubiri yonseni mukuti shwati bule manzi na akutitegwaye andine mudamu tilimezi issues yeso mathematics yenseni pomputi jana kufundisa bana bechikoro akura mabuku ama school fees.
The salvation brought about by the rains has come at an opportune time when there were doubts over the possibility of a good harvest. With water bodies now full in the district, the development dovetails with government's irrigation development agenda towards national food security. Mhlomuli Ncube, ZBC News, Hwange.
The stable macroeconomic environment prevailing in the country has been attributed to the National Development Strategy 1's Growth Inclusive pillar.
With the National Development Strategy 1 NDS1 coming to an end in December this year, captains of industry are impressed with what has been achieved so far.
NDS1 has come and managed to stabilize our economic front, which is what we have been advocating for as business, to say we need a stable operating microeconomic environment. And we are quite positive towards the strides being made.
The National Development Strategy, NDS1, has been instrumental in advancing Zimbabwe's economy up the value chain through several strategic initiatives. By prioritizing sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing and services, NDS1 has facilitated the diversification of our economic base.
Having managed to boost productivity through human capital development, the implementation of NDS1 has also enhanced capacity utilization.
Through NDS1, we were motivated and we were challenged to enter into sectors where most of these chemicals are being imported, and we managed to do our researches, and our products, our formulations, they've been accepted well by the end users.
The NDS1 is a first 5-year national development plan towards the vision of an upper middle income society by 2030. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And that'll be all from the Manchester News Desk. I am Sibigela Maposa, now circling back to Harare, where Joyce and Zane will take us through the rest of the bulletin from this end. Good evening.
Sensing some telepathy there, I see Sibukela is also in blue, so am I. And we then jump straight into our next report, where local authorities have been implored to enforce formalization of economic activities within their jurisdictions to broaden the tax base and harness funding for developmental projects.
The visit to Mashonaland West Province by the Permanent Secretary for Presidential Affairs and Devolution in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Engineer Tafadzwa Muguti, on a devolution familiarization tour this Thursday revealed the need for local authorities to formalize their economic activities.
Zvino kana tiri kuti isusu tani 30% yevanhu vanoita zvemabhizimusi chete vari kubhadhara mataxi yayo, 70% tovasekerera vari kufamba mugwagwa iyoyo, vari kushandisa mvura iyoyo, vari kutarisira zvakare kuti hurumende irambe ichibatsira zviende mberi. Saka tiri kuti isu shoko ratiri kufamba naro, ma-local authorities naivowo ndo vanofanira kunge vachibumbiridza kuti ikonomi yeZimbabwe ifambe. Ndosaka tiri kuvati vakai musika, vanhu vari kutengesera mugwagwa vapinde musika.
Engineer Muguti expressed satisfaction with the number of devolution projects completed in the province.
Since 2020, they've managed to build over 90 classrooms and across 40 schools. That's quite commendable. Some of the best results we've seen in the country, so that's why we came to see for ourselves.
Zvimba Rural District Council Chief Executive Officer Mr. Enyas Chidakwa noted the impact of devolution funds, highlighting that they are widening the revenue base for local authorities.
Developments dzakawanda taane mapaper mills muno tine macrushers. Harare iri kuvakwa nezvimba zvidhina chaizvo zvese zviri kuvaka Harare, zviri kuvaka kwose zviri kubva muzvimba. Matombo ari kuvaka, nataimboita matombo tichitenga achiita ma35-40 kunana Cyclone cement, dzichiri Cyclone cement. Nekuda kwezvimba nekuda kwemaprojects atakaita ma-investments ataita towards vision 2030, because zvino matombo is cheaper as $15 per cubic from 40.
Government introduced the devolution program as part of efforts to propel rural development in line with Vision 2030. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Zimba.
15 magistrates have been sworn in at the Harare Magistrates Court in a move expected to improve the justice delivery system. Let's get more from Fungai Jaji.
Presiding over the swearing ceremony, Chief Magistrate Mrs. Bongai Guriro said the development will ease the workload at a time when the Judicial Service Commission JSC is expanding its operations countrywide.
With the expansion of the courts in a bid to enhance access to justice, there was need for the Commission to recruit more magistrates. That is why today we've recruited 15 magistrates who have taken the oath of office and are going to capacitate the new stations that we have opened.
She also indicated that the introduction of fast-track courts will reduce witness fatigue.
The fast-track court system is the game changer because we are saying we're going to set matters down of fast-track. So it means working together in collaboration with the other stakeholders so that even at police level, the matter is going to come straight from the police right into the fast-track court so that at least there's no witness fatigue. A witness knows I'm coming to court today to testify.
Chief Justice Guriro added that the JSC believes in human capital development.
We are fostering public confidence in the judiciary to mean that in our operations we must ensure that in everything that we are going to be doing this year we are enhancing the need for the public to have confidence because we account to the public as we derive judicial authority from the people of Zimbabwe.
12 of the 15 new magistrates are female. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
The main news takes a break. We'll be back with you shortly.
Join Zimbabwe's top-performing high schools recognized by Cambridge International with a proven track record of over 90% pass rate. Academic excellence, Cambridge curriculum, wide range of subjects in the commercials, arts, sciences and technical vocational career pathways. Experienced teachers guiding your child's success. State-of-the-art facilities, modern boarding facilities with professional chefs providing nutritious meals. Variety of sporting activities including athletics. Enroll now for 2025. Contact us today to secure your child's spot at Zimbabwe's premier high school.
Murise,
Moshe,
have you heard about Marechera?
Hanziko.
But he says keeper. They say he has this glow about him now. He doesn't walk.
Hey.
He glides.
Yo.
And he's so calm that he doesn't perspire.
I heard that he owns a bank.
Let's go.
The most secured bank in the whole world.
And his dollars, he irons his money.
He has got people who irons his money for him.
But have you heard that when he coughs, money just comes out of the blue? Out of the orange. Let's go.
Hey, yo.
Marechera.
Says Keeper, Zakuendeka, introducing the new Mukuru wallet. Send, store, spend. There's Mukuru for that.
Step up with DSTV and we'll show up by giving you more incredible entertainment.
Going to have a little fun.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
To the back of the net!
There's nothing better than putting a little bit in but getting a lot out.
This is the time to take risks.
Incredible!
I've heard good things about you. Don't let me down.
Step up and we'll show up on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. In business, economists are expecting the introduction of the fast food tax to widen Treasury's revenue inflows and facilitate funding for development projects.
The tax, which was effected this month, is leveled per unit basis for various fast food items, aiming to generate revenue for government while discouraging the consumption of unhealthy foods. While the tax has generated intense debate, economists believe it presents an opportunity to bolster domestic resource mobilization and address critical national needs.
And from the lens of domestic resource mobilization, the revenue generated from this tax
can be strategically allocated to public health initiatives, healthcare infrastructure, and educational campaigns which are focused on nutrition.
The funds that are correspondingly raised from there need to be commensurately invested in the health infrastructure in a way that is responsive to the non-communicable diseases as and when they occur. The health infrastructure in the form of the human capital that is there and its adequate compensation there too. The necessary modern machines that are able to detect and cure and mitigate the impact of the NCDs on the humans.
This comes after the sugar content tax implemented last year was a huge success, generating more than $30 million United States in revenue.
We've been collecting taxes from the various areas, including taxes earmarked for certain sectors, like for instance the sugar content tax, where we have collected about $30 million for now, earmarked to deal with the cancer issues, a cancer response program for the Ministry of Health. So we've really been focused on supporting the health sector to improve the access to drugs, the quality of equipment.
By strategically utilizing the generated revenue, the government is set to make significant strides in improving public health, enhancing human capital, and strengthening social and economic infrastructure, thereby contributing to sustainable economic growth and improved quality of life for all Zimbabweans. Yolanda Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And that's business news, taking us straight to the arts, where entertainment lovers are spoiled for choice this weekend with a number of musical shows lined up in the city of kings and queens.
Being the country's arts and cultural hub, Bulawayo is the place to be this weekend, with Ladi kicking off the fun this Friday with their Afropop music, which she blends with the Amapiano sound. The City of Kings and Queens will on Saturday host South Africa's Amapiano music star, Scott Maphoma, who will be in Zimbabwe for the first time. Band Fusion are also in action this Saturday. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Music is very, very, very soothing. But for now, we take a breather. We'll return with the latest in sport with Anna Shemurombezi.
Every heart is the dream of greatness. Football is more than a game. It is hope. It is unity. It is the future. Every journey starts with a single kick. As a dedicated and passionate individual, I, Nkomo am ready to lead Zimbabwean football into a new era. My transformative agenda is built on uniting stakeholders, restoring integrity, and fostering grassroots talent. I firmly believe every player deserves a chance to shine. From our humble beginnings to dreaming on the global stage, we know that talent must be nurtured and dreams deserve to flourish. That's why I'm asking for your vote to become the president of the Zimbabwe Football Association. It's time to focus on football. Together, we can restore pride, nurture talent, and create a lasting legacy for future generations. Vote for me, Nkomo, and let's transform Zimbabwean football together.
Welcome to the Sports Corner, and Asham Rambedzi here with the latest in the world of sport. Now, the High Court has reserved judgment in an urgent application by Yada Stars Football Club president Walter Magaya, who was disqualified from contesting the Zimbabwe Football Association ZIFA presidential elections scheduled for the 25th of this month.
The football community will have to wait a little longer for the fate of Magaya's appeal to be part of the ZIFA elections after the High Court reserved the judgment on the matter and set Thursday next week as the date for the ruling. Magaya, through his legal team, argued that while the ZIFA statutes specify the minimum requirements to contest the local football motherboard presidency as an ordinary level certificate, an equivalent is acceptable. He further argued that he submitted a diploma certificate, which is a higher qualification than the minimum qualification of an ordinary level certificate. His legal team also submitted that Magaya is not a member of ZIFA, and what is before the court is not about the sport, but the issue of legality. Hence, he was supposed to be given time to produce the certificate within a certain time framework. ZIFA, through its legal representative, Professor Lovemore Maduku, however, raised an objection asserting that the burden of proof rests upon Magaya to furnish the court with evidence of possessing an ordinary level certificate. He also submitted that the matter should not be entertained by the High Court, but rather dealt with by the arbitration court, claiming that there is no legitimate case before the High Court. Peter Chivima, ZBC News. Harare.
Now, on what to expect this weekend, the 8th edition of the Paramount Government's Under-20 Rugby League kicks off this Saturday with the men and women top division matches lined up for Old Georgian Sports Club.
The 2025 rugby season kicks off this Saturday, with the season opening Under-20 League taking center stage at Old Georgians. The season will see an increase in the number of teams in Division 1, with the coming in of Bindura Foxes and Chitungiza Crusaders. The newly elected chairperson of the Harare Provincial Rugby Board has big dreams for the country's biggest rugby playing province.
I'd love to see rugby go back to what I used to hear about it. There were times I heard about the NRL. I want that much noise to come back to rugby. We want fans to come back to rugby. More fans even. We want more people to say, you know what, I want to join rugby because that's the place to be. I've seen what it has done for Lindiwe. I've seen what it has done for Chiwoniso. I want people to actually benefit from playing in the league.
This Saturday, defending women's champions FS Raiders take on New Girls on the block Shining Stars. Zimbiru face Pitbulls, while Harare Sports Club Data Bindura Foxes. In the men's Premier Division, defending champions Pitbulls Data Zambezi Steelers or Georgians up against Raiders, while Odararans and Northern Chiefs conclude the match day schedule. Also, the basketball season resumes with Super 6 matches slated for the City Sports Center. Defending ladies champions UZ Stars face struggling Phillies, Blades Data rejuvenated Vixens, while Bunnies tackle Harare City. In the men's league, Hounds face Leopards, Barebuza up against Assassins, while the much anticipated match between JBC and Bucks conclude the weekend's action. Lawrence Trusera, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, to conclude sport, just a quick update. The Zimbabwe senior women football team, the Mighty Warriors, are expected to be in camp next week to prepare for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers slated for South Africa next month. That's it from the Sports Corner. I take you to the main guest.
Well, sport concludes tonight's bulletin. From the crew behind the scenes and all of us here, good night.
Good night.
welcome to Economic Forum, a program that deals with various aspects of life. We deal with them in order to see how they impact our economy in Zimbabwe. We look at issues to do with manufacturing, with mining, with agriculture, energy, and many other aspects of life. And today, we shall continue with our discussion on the provincial economies. My name is John Masugu, and we are delighted to be hosting the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution in Mashonaland Central, and that's Honorable Christopher Nkomo. We welcome you to Economic Forum.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure to talk about Mashonaland Central, as it reminds us of oranges, citrus fruits, the Mazoe Dam, and many other areas that are of interest. But tell us, when we are talking about Mashonaland Central, which areas are we denoting here?
Mashonaland Central Province is a province to the northern part of the country. And this province has got 8 districts. The first district being Mazoe, the other district being Guruwe, Mbire, Muzarabani, Shamva.
What is Mashonaland Central known for? If I just mention Mashonaland Central, I think many people would say the fight against colonialism in remembrance of the spirit of Mbuyane, and also the Liberation War, where people were just taken into keeps. That has passed. And now what are